Cool, guys. So yeah, we thought this would be a good night to do this. We are going to do one in person as well on Tuesday at SOS at 6:30. But yeah, we thought we'd do it. There's no better night to do it on really than a Friday, just before the first Monday of the new year. So we did this last year, and a lot of the members asked for it again. So I think a lot of them did actually find it quite useful and quite powerful. So some of the content's a little bit similar to last year because it did really hit well. We've had a lot of new members join, and we just added a few different sort of frameworks to it as well. So hopefully this will help you. It's not going to be just into like the boring stuff about goals and smart goals and stuff that you probably know, the specific, the measurable, attainable, realistic, and time frame stuff. That stuff you probably can just Google and learn. Hopefully, we're going to go a little bit deeper. I'm going to share some insights in terms of stuff that worked really well for me last year, and some of the clients that we train as well that were on this on this workshop. And then we're just going to sort of just discuss a few sort of mindset shifts as well when it comes to success and setting goals and just making sure that the goal you're setting is actually helping you and not having a negative effect with too much pressure and stuff as well. And also how you deal with that goal when things are not going well in life. We know if we look back at 2025, I bet really good things happen to you and really bad things happen to you. That's life, guys. All right. If you think 2026 is going to be all sunshine and roses, you're probably mistaken. Good things are going to happen to people in your life. And unfortunately, the cycle of life might mean that bad things happen to people in your life. And, don't want to start this on a negative or anything like that. But it's important that I think with these goals, we set them up in a way that allows you to succeed when things are not perfect. If everything needs to be perfect for you to succeed with these goals, then they're never, ever, ever going to happen. We need to make sure these goals are achievable, you can even, take small steps forward with these goals, even on the days where you're probably not feeling up to it. And if we can get you into that frame of mind, we can get those non-negotiables dialed in, those behaviors, those habits dialed in, that you can take small steps forward on the bad days, then you're definitely going to succeed with achieving them as well. So yeah, so let's get going. So obviously the first things first, why goals matter. They give you direction. Okay. There's goals, there's no telling what you can do when you're inspired by them as well. So the first thing with these goals is set goals that excite you, set goals that inspire you. Think about the goals you're going to set in 2026 as things that you're going to get enjoyment from, you're going to get satisfaction from. And don't look at them as just targets, guys. All right. Like I set some goals and I'll share them with you last year, and I didn't hit them all, but I didn't get far away. And I've certainly moved forward from where I was last year to this year. So it is a saying that goes like, if you aim for the stars and land in the sky, you've done well. But if you aim for the sky and land in the clouds, then you're not in such a good place. So don't be afraid to set these goals as things that are going to challenge you. And if you slightly miss, look, that's probably a good thing in terms of you still made massive strides forward. So don't look at them as just targets. They're a compass. They're gonna pull you in that direction. And I think without goals and without focus, people certainly do drift. And with them, you can even make a bad day give it that direction. Okay, so this is what these goals are for. Think of it as a compass. So on the bad days, you've got a direction to try and strive towards. All right, and the other thing is goals work on you more than anything else. These goals should ideally, if you set them right, be more congruent, and in the future now they'll make you more congruent with the person you want to become. So set these goals on the values that you hold. And if you do achieve these goals or you get close to achieving these goals, it'll make you more like the person you want to become. All right. So think about that. It's no good setting goals like, right, I'm gonna drink every Saturday I'm gonna drink every single Saturday in 2026. I'm gonna shut this door because Ada's in the bath and she's singing and I can hear her. All right. So think about setting goals that are gonna really challenge you, but make you become a better version of you. All right. So the major reason to set a goal is what it makes of you to accomplish it. That's what Jim Rohn says. It's not about the money, the body, the title. It's about who you become in the process, the discipline it takes, the confidence, the standards, and again, like I spoke about, that identity shift. Okay, so why it matters as well? Set goals that force growth. Okay, we want these goals to ensure that the person on the 2027 goal setting webinar is someone that's really moved forward and made big strides with their mentality, their discipline, their behaviors than the person sat on the call tonight. Okay, so if you set goals and you go after them with all your determination, you can master your gifts, will take you to places that will amaze you. All right. And I'm sharing some of my goals next now. And what happened last year was crazy with some of them. Um, Jim Rohn was big on goals that stretch you slightly beyond your current self, not comfort. So we work with something at SOS called the zone of proximal development. And basically, what this basically means is like it's called you've got your comfort zone, and we know that success happens outside the comfort zone. And the zone that's best to challenge you is called the zone of proximal development, ZOPD. All right, and you want to make sure with these goals that they put you into that zone where you think, shit, like this is going to be quite hard. I really need to like focus. But at the same time, the goal isn't too easy to achieve. But at the same time, it's not too hard to achieve and is going to overwhelm you. So it's important that you do set goals to challenge you. But if you've never run a marathon before, don't try and run a sub 3 hour marathon this year. It's not going to happen. All right. Your goal this year could be to run a marathon and be injury free in the process. And then when you've got the data, then we can set maybe a goal that's a bit more challenging. So that's the key with goals as well. So if you are setting goals, I definitely recommend you share them with your coach, and we can just make sure that they are right for you. So these are the goals I set last year. I set loads of goals. These are just 5 of them that I'll share with you. So it was to run a sub 20-minute 5K. It was to grow the business SOS by 15%. It was to read 12 books through the year and have 45 minutes of uninterrupted playtime with Ada each day, and factor in annual leave, work periods and rest periods. All these goals had meaning for me. I want the first one, the 5K one, was just because I used to be able to do it, and it's something that I could no longer do. And I'm 40 next year in July, so I thought, like, how cool would it be to be fitter at 40, or just as fit at 40 than I was when I was like 18, 19, and 20, when I was playing for Newport County, and I could do that easily. So that was a goal I set, and I achieved it. To grow SOS by 15%, we didn't quite hit that, but I think we got to like 12 or 13%. So again, it was really good. I think we grew at 13% the year before, and I think this, not 12%, and then this year was 13%. So I had the data. So from doing this over the last 12 years, I've known how much we can realistically grow in a year. So I set the goal at 15% when we missed it slightly, but we still did 1% better this year than we did the year before. So which is good, right? Read 12 books in 2025. This is where I failed miserably. I did it for like January, February, March, and then this goal just fell off a cliff. So that's something I can reassess as to why that was. And the reason probably is because I bought an iPad and I started using it on there. And then all of a sudden, then when my iPad wasn't charged, it was just all too easy to say, "Oh, I won't bother doing it." And sometimes Mel likes to go to sleep, and the iPad would be on in the light and stuff like that, rather than having like a hard book. So that's probably something I'm going to reevaluate this year in terms of how I do it. The 45 minutes of uninterrupted time with Ada, I try and do that most days. I try and do bath time and bedtime whenever I can. And I try and make sure I leave my phone downstairs when I'm doing it, because it's just so easy to like check your phone, check the SOS app, check WhatsApp, especially with the SOS community. The WhatsApp is buzzing all the time. So that's something I have been pretty good at. And then, yeah, factoring annual leave is something I need to get better at now with the family. And it is something I improved on last year. So they're just 5 little goals that I set last year. So you can take a little bit of influence from them if you want to. And they haven't all got to be performance-based goals. They can be family, they can be health, they can be financial, whatever you want. Okay, but I would recommend you set goals for different areas of your life, because we've all got those different buckets in our life, and it's important we keep each one full based on your values. Now, in terms of these goals, you can see here I've written it down. Okay, so I bought a book last year called Pareto, which is a really good book for goal setting. I've gone one bigger this year. This book is called Goal Digger. I don't know if you can see that, but it's an amazing book. It's a lot thicker, and the first like 20 or 30 pages are all about reflection and why you want to achieve goals, what feeling you want, why it's important to you. But what I did last year, you can see with this goal, I achieved it. I literally wrote down the goal, how I was going to do it. So it's all documented. And then I had sort of through the year, then January, February, March, April, May, I knew that I needed to test the goals as well. So I tested in January, 23 minutes was my 5K, which wasn't, not bad, but it wasn't where I wanted it to be. And then you can see by February, I'd already knocked 2 minutes off. Okay. And then by the end of the year, then as you know, you runners, as you get closer to that 20 minutes, each 10 seconds or 5 seconds is much harder. Knocking 10 seconds off from 23 to 22:50 is easy, but getting from 20:10 to 20, that's tough. But I managed to do it in December, yeah, which was really, really good. So with your goals, it's great to document it. Have these benchmarks. Have triggers as well. So a trigger for me was if no football was on, I'd run 5K. So if my football training got cancelled, I couldn't make football training. If my game got called off, I'd run 5K. And it was pretty useful as well because the guy that runs the football team, he always says, guys, get your 5Ks in. So it was quite good that this goal was also congruent with the goal that the football manager would say if our games got called off. So yeah, I managed to do it, which was great. But I'd recommend with all your goals, write these down, get some benchmarks in there. Don't be that person that sets a goal that's very data driven, but like very random. If you want to set a goal for 5K or 10K, you need to know where you are right now. All right. So that's the key with this. Don't just pluck numbers from thin air. And then what happened then last year is because I improved my 5K, one of the other goals I had, did I say here, is yeah, to do my first high rocks. That was another goal. And obviously do a trip abroad with the team at SOS. There were two other goals we had. And yeah, we managed to take, I think it was 25 members to Warsaw. We didn't have a time in mind, me and Mark. We just thought we'd do it for shits and giggles and fun. And we did it on 106.22. Then we had the data. We then had better decisions, more informed knowledge about what it was going to take to improve. Then we trained really hard, thinking we knew what we were doing for Cardiff. And Cardiff was a shit show. We went like way slower. I felt awful. I learned from that, dusted myself down. And then we went to Valencia. We improved our time, not just on Cardiff, but also on Warsaw. And then in London, then we managed a PB, which was great. So the fact that my 5K improved through the year also had a positive effect on the High Rocks performance as well, which it will because High Rocks is fundamentally just running with stations in between. So, but it was by getting fitter, we had all these positive experiences as well. So this was a great little achievement that we had. And we managed to take 25 members to Valencia, 22 members to Warsaw. I think we took 28 members or 29 members to Valencia as well, which was great fun. And in doing so as well, he's had a great impact, inspiring other people into doing it. So by setting goals, like this wasn't a goal at the start of the year. It was to do my first high rocks. But look what setting that goal did. It took us to Warsaw. It took 29 people to Valencia, and we managed to compete in 4 different ones. But that was not a goal at the start of the year. And that's the benefit of setting these goals. You can get excited, you can get enjoyment, and you can just, go on that sort of journey with it as well. So let's just talk about setting goals. Now, with goal setting, I used to be that PT. I'm not ashamed to admit that would tell my clients their goals, and then I'd be really frustrated why they wouldn't achieve them. And the research shows that self-generated goals make success 3 times more likely. So if someone's telling you what to do, or they're telling you that your goal, you're probably not going to be as motivated to get there. Self-generated goals lead to great ownership, motivation, and follow through. Okay, extrinsic motivation, being told what to do, the old Sam, results in less sustainable success. So research shows that coached through extrinsic methods regain most of the weight lost within 12 months. Okay, so that's not what we want. Intrinsic motivation leads to sustainable, long-lasting change. So the takeaway is the goals that you set are the ones that you'll stick with because you'll feel that ownership. And that's why these calls are important now. I never, ever tell clients anymore like what they should do. All my coaching calls are client led because if the client is going to lead the conversation, they're going to feel a lot more motivated then to own it as well, especially with the habits and behaviors you're going to take to achieve that. So with all the goals that I use now, we use what's called the GROW model. So not too sure if you've heard of this model, but it's really good. The first thing is like, what do you want to achieve? Okay, so think of like the end of 2026, but it hasn't got to be then. It could be the end of Q1, Q2. It could be by the summer. It could be for the holiday. It could be for the wedding. You don't need to do all your goals annually. They can be weekly, however you want. All right, but think about where you are now. And this is the mistake with a lot of people go wrong. Going back to growing SOS by 15%. I didn't pluck that number from the sky. All right, we grew it by 12%. Yeah, then we grew it by 13%. So this year now trying to grow by 15%. Yeah, if that's a goal I'm going to have, is very close to what I was doing. So it's important that you know where you are now. With the 5K, I knew I was doing 23 minutes. So I knew 20 minutes would be a hell of a push, but it was achievable. Yeah, so it's important that you know where you are when you set these goals because it needs to be possible. All right, and that's the most important thing. Going back to the SMART goals, R stands for realistic. Okay, so it needs to be realistic. It needs to be attainable. Okay, so yeah, thinking about where you are now is important. If you don't know where you are now with a certain goal, your first exploration might be to just go and do that. Go and give it a go. See where you are now. All right. And then you've got the numbers, then you've got the data, and then you can do that. So the first thing you could do in Q1 maybe to is just to give that goal a go. And then Q2, Q3, Q4 could be about potentially trying to improve it. Think about obstacles as well. What might get in the way? The 5K goal was great for me. I've got a treadmill in the garage. Like literally, there was no excuse for me not to be able to do that. So I made that goal easy, especially with Ada, who's obviously 3, and she needs looking after with me or Mel. And then WN is the way forward. What's your first action? So take a photo of this, guys, if you haven't. All right. And we want you to sort of work through it. All right. So this isn't going to be a Netflix and chill style talk. We want you to actually get some of this down today. So yeah, open up your paper or your notepad or your phone, and let's just try this together, right? So, drop one fitness or health goal onto your notepad, or if you're confident enough to do it, into the chat. Or if anyone wants to come on and we'll do it live, we can. If anyone does want to do that, just raise your hand or just take yourself off mute. We can go through this process together potentially. Or if you're all too shy. Anyone keen to do this live? Do you want to do it, Jess?
I knew you were going to pick on me, Sam. I
Yeah.
absolutely knew it.
Come on,
Um,
then, right. So you're super dialed in at the moment, which is good. So,
I am
like, I know
darling.
we spoke about this already. So, what could one of your goals be for 2026?
Um, I would like to get my 100 kg back squat.
Cool, amazing. So, when do you
100
want to do that
Well,
by?
I've already done 100, so 101.
You've done 100, have you?
Last year I did it, but then obviously I took some time off, and then
Yeah,
we got with Cole, we got up to 85
amazing.
a couple of
So,
weeks ago. So I want to get back to 100.
cool. So you've got a goal. So, what do you want to achieve by the end of 2026 or the time frame? Jesse wants to squat 101 kilos. Amazing. So a PB, which is going to be a massive PB as well, because you're probably the lightest now you've ever been, right?
Yeah.
Which is even more amazing because the more weight you lose, we know mass moves mass. She
Yeah.
knows where she is now. All right. She's at 85 kilos. So she has that data, which is amazing. All right. Some people might not have that data. So setting the goal is very difficult. You might need to go on that exploration process where you're very curious, but Jesse knows it. What's possible? Okay. So is that possible? Is a 15-kilo jump, 15%? Yeah, definitely possible. But a bit like my 5K, Jess, the closer you get to that goal, the
Yeah.
extra kilograms are gonna be challenging. But I know the way Cole's program as well, there's a lot of strength work coming in 2026. So yeah, 100% achievable. So obstacles, what do you think might get in the way?
Well, obviously, I'm having pretty big surgery in March. So
Yeah,
I ideally want to hit it before March
yeah,
because it's going to be hard to then start from zero to go into 100 in the
yeah.
second half of the year. So
Cool. But
that's
you've been
the
but you've been
obstacle.
training super consistently over Christmas, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's not a case of like you've got weekend. Your squat's probably 85 or more right now, which
Mm,
is which is good. So what I would do with you is like I'd probably set this as a goal for March,
yeah.
or we will set it as a goal for March, and then
Mhm.
you know then you've got January, February, March. You've got 3 months. We
Yeah.
probably need to be adding 5 kilos per month to your
Yeah.
squat.
Easy,
Okay.
innit?
Well, if you look at it like that, it's a kilo a week.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's literally it, and it is that easy if you think about it.
Mm,
So yeah, that's Jesse's way forward. Now, what we'll go through now is the 5-3-1. This is where Jesse will have a bit more accountability with that goal. But that's what we just did with Jesse there, guys. Is what you need to do for all of your goals. Anything else you think will get in the way, Jess? Apart from the surgery, anything else?
Um, I am going, I'm in 4 different countries between now and March. So, but everywhere I'm going, I'm staying, they've got gyms and things like that. So traveling might get in the way a little bit,
Hmm.
but hopefully not.
But knowing now this is a goal, which of
Yeah.
your workouts are you going to prioritize? If it becomes a choice between upper body and lower body, you're going to
Leg
probably
day, baby.
prioritize the lower body. And Jessie needs to make sure that if she is booking hotels, each one has access to a gym. Okay,
Yeah.
because this goal is important to her now. Remember what we said about it pulling you in the right direction? Every decision that Jessie makes now with where she stays, what food she eats, what time she goes to bed, all that kind of stuff. This goal, the goal is going to be in her head, and the decision she's going to make is going to be aligned with that. Okay, which is amazing. So yeah, thanks, Jesse. That's amazing. Thank you. So the problem with goals. Okay, this is another thing now which I think is important. Not a lot of people speak about. Specific goals can work, but they can come with a cost. Okay, and this all depends on you as a person. For some people, goals can increase pressure, reduce enjoyment, kill flow state, and they can lead to burnout. Okay, like most people treat goals like contracts. You either hit the target or you fail. Okay. And like, that's not a nice way to see the world because these goals are just meant to be put into a place to make you become a bigger and better person. It's not a case if you miss them, you fail. Have I failed this year because I didn't grow the business by 15%? No, I still grew by 13%. That's awesome. Do you know what I mean? So these goals are just there to challenge you. Now, at SOS, we see this all the time, fitness, careers, and life. And it's why people stop, not because they're lazy, because they feel the pressure of getting too heavy. And there's no pressure from us as a coaching team. The only pressure you put on you is yourself. But these goals are not designed to put pressure on you in a negative way. All right. So I wanted to give you just two scenarios. So think about this. The fixed goal could be I need to lose 5 kilos by March. All right. That could be a weight loss goal. It creates focus, it creates urgency, it also creates pressure. Okay. Whereas the open goal could be let's see how good I can get at this, or let's see how low I can get by March. Can you see the difference? Think about a golfer. So I said to Jesse earlier, we were having a chat in reception. Imagine you're a golfer and you're like, right, I'm playing golf today. I need to get around the whole course in 78 strokes. All right. Versus, oh, I'm going to play golf today. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to see how good I can play. Which person do you think is probably going to have the better round? It's probably the person that's just going to enjoy it and take that pressure off themselves. They're probably going to achieve more. So short-term results often very similar. Long-term are going to be very different. So that's the key with these goals. So don't put too much pressure on yourself. The research shows, okay, that goals aren't destinations, they're vehicles for growth. The real win isn't the number, it's who you become chasing it, okay? When goals are used properly, setbacks become data. Like I didn't achieve a lot of my goals last year. I'm now going to take that data and I'm going to make sure that this year when I plan for it, I'm going to have a better plan. Missed weeks are not failure, okay? Consistency beats intensity. All right. That's the key principles we want to have. The main takeaway, guys, is that setbacks are just data. All right. It's just right. Isn't, and I always say to myself, if I miss a goal or I miss a target, isn't that interesting? How can I take that knowledge now and just make sure that, I refine the way I'm going to do things next time I have a go? And we can always use that data then in a positive way. So yeah, don't look at it as failure. Going back to the enjoyment factor, all right, the research shows the people that enjoy it actually do better, all right, because they stick it out long term. They enjoy it more. We talk about something at SOS called the adherence triangle. Guess what? The members who do best with us are the ones that enjoy it. Because when you enjoy it, you want to come. And guess what? When you come to the gym, you get better results. All right? That enjoyment piece is so important. Think about all the things you've tried in the past that you didn't enjoy. Maybe you took up running and you hated it. Guess what? I bet after a while you stopped running. But then because you stopped running, you didn't get the results. So finding that enjoyment is key. So how you frame these goals, I think, is super important. Now, going back to Jesse's goal and your goals as well, something I like to use with clients is called the Connolly 531 method. So Jessie just said she wants to squat 101 kilos by March. So Jesse, what are 5 things you could dial in? Not you personally, but this we'll go into a bit more depth with you. But what are 5 things that someone who wanted to increase their squat by 15 kilos in 3 months, let's take you out of it, do to help them achieve that goal? What are 5 things, like random things someone could do? Bring yourself up mute. Yeah.
Oh, you asking me now to
I'm
answer?
asking you, yeah. What are 5? Because this is what coaching looks like in person.
Like a specific program to
It could be anything that's going to help you squat more.
um
Could be looking at food, nutrition. It could be
yeah,
sleep. It
like
could be
yeah,
supplements. It could be.
yeah, all of that, like a specific, yeah,
Let's
uh,
brainstorm it. So
program to help me uh
yeah. So
spread
it
the
could be
weight.
like making. I think the main thing is making sure you're squatting every week. That could be one
Yeah.
thing. Okay, super important. It could be making sure
Eating
that
before my workout.
yeah, eat before you work out, 100%. Do you feel stronger when you've eaten before?
100%, yeah.
Perfect. So is this something you do all the time or you
Yeah.
always, yeah,
I can't train if I haven't eaten, yeah.
perfect. So making sure you're squatting every week, eating
What
before
about
you work.
adding
I
in
know,
what about
say again.
adding in like stretches and things? Stretching properly
Yeah, perfect.
daily?
Dedicating time to mobility.
Yeah.
It could be, I know Jesse's got so much dialed in, guys, but it could be having a weekly massage, which he had today. It could be making sure Paul uses the bamboo shoots on your calves every week. It could be making sure you take your creatine consistently.
Yeah.
Okay. So these are five things, but it's good to pick five things that you're not very consistent at
Okay.
and just write them down. Just write five things down. Then with this method then of writing all the things down or the five things that could work for your goal just to help it could be going to bed 20 minutes earlier, it could be having an extra massage, it could be doing that yoga class, it could be getting a bit earlier and just doing more squats, rehearsing the squat pattern more, whatever it is. But then out of those things you write down, three things that you could do. So we've written down all the things that could work. You could be like, right, these are the three things that I could probably do that could fit into my life. All right. And then once we've done the five and we've picked the three that could work for Jesse, just to dial things in even more, all Jesse's going to do is pick one thing and do that this week. Okay. Just one thing this week. And then we'll do this thing again next week. And then she'll do another thing. And what happens is over the course of the next 12 to 15 weeks where Jesse's trying to get this squat, she's dialing things in to help her. Little habits and little behaviors, but she's deciding what they are. And we go through this framework a lot with clients, and it really does work. Okay, so yeah, think about your goal. What's five things someone could do that's going to help you achieve that goal? Okay, then when you've written those five things down, underline three of those that could potentially work for you and your life, and then circle the one thing that you're going to do starting tomorrow or this week or next week, whenever you're going to do it, Monday, that's going to help you achieve your goal. So you're only going to change one thing. All right. And that's super simple. So even on the days when you're stressed out, Jesse knows, right, this week I got to take my creatine. Yeah. It could be that simple. But when she's done that for 7 days, it's becoming more of a habit. She can then look at something else. And all these habits, they compound. So that's a really good method that we use, which hopefully can help some of you. So process over outcome. Okay, we spoke about this a little bit as well. This is just another thing to think about. Outcomes are motivating, but it's the daily actions that make them achievable. Winning a day builds momentum. So think instead of lose 10 kilograms, think train 3 days a week, hit 8K steps, meal prep on Sundays. So the goal is great, but what we're going to try and do with the Conley 531 method is focus more on the behaviors and the person you need to become to achieve that goal. Okay, so that's what the Conley 531 does. Take your goal and break it down into 3 to 5 objective actions you can track weekly. Okay, and that's going back to this, where we can literally just pick one thing each week. Okay, so these two things are interlinked. There's definitely 3 to 5 objective actions you can track weekly. Okay, but all I would recommend is just picking one for next week. Once you're doing that, pick another one, pick another one, pick another one. But focusing on the process rather than the outcome is super important. Okay, and then we're going to talk about SDT. Okay, the self-determination theory. We know motivation matters, but whether it's intrinsic or extrinsic is key. Okay, intrinsic motivation is going to lead to long-term sustainability. One of my goals this year was to have more meaningful conversations with the clients I look after, deeper coaching connections. I didn't want to be having little chats about, you know, why haven't you tracked your calories and stuff like that. Like I've tried to have more impactful conversations. It's worked really, really well. And what that's done is it's passed a lot more autonomy onto my clients. And now it's great because I can see them now self-regulating and self-correcting, which is awesome. A lot of clients ask me what I should do, and I've stopped giving them the answer. It's like, what do you think you should do? Because I want them to start thinking for themselves. I don't want them to need me. I want to start being able to think and problem solve. And that comes down to this intrinsic thought process and is making sure you're building people up for long-term sustainability. Whereas extrinsic motivation leads to short-term results that can often fail. So key questions to ask yourself: who are you now? Who do you want to be? What do you want to be known for? And what's your self-efficacy like? And the call to action basically is write down one sentence about the person you want to be by December 2026. This book, the one I told you about, it's got a 3-page manifesto story that you've got to write to yourself. All right. So at the end of the year, I read it, and it's a story to my past self. So it's quite deep. But this is what this basically is doing in a very simpler way. Write down one sentence about the person you want to be by December 2026. Because if you do it, if you set goals this way, guys, it's going to be very aligned with the values of the person you want to become. Do you want to be someone that enjoys training? Do you want to be someone that trains 3 to 4 days a week, no matter what? Do you want to be someone that your kids look up to and think, wow, like mummy or daddy or grandmother or granddad's fit? Ada called me muscle man. All right. I never told her to say that either. So it's cool, you know? So think about these things. And then what this is leading to then is identity change. Change starts with who you are, not just what you do. Okay. I am someone who trains 3 days a week. Yeah. That's much more powerful than being saying I will lose weight. Okay. Think of a fitness related identity you want to adopt. Okay. So think of something, guys, you haven't really achieved this year. We'll drop this in the chat. So think about something you want to do by the end of next year. Would it be like, it's a great example. I am someone who trains 3 days a week. I am someone that lifts weights twice a week. I am someone that integrates cardio into my training routine. I am someone that eats protein consistently for breakfast. What's one thing? If you can all drop one in the chat, that would be pretty cool. So have a little think. Here's the chat. Let's go. So Sarah said, be consistent with gym attendance. Cool. What does that
Yeah.
mean, Sarah? What does that mean?
Oh,
Does that mean you're
I,
gonna
I
train
could do,
twice a week?
yeah, I was in a good routine, and then all of a sudden, like 2 weeks have gone by, and you're like, "Oh, I haven't been to the gym again. And just life gets in the way, and like tummy problems and things like that. But I feel better once I've gone, but sometimes it's just so hard, like getting there. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But once I'm in a routine, it's just so easy just to lose that routine now.
Yeah, and that's why I say to people over Christmas is like keep the routine because
Yeah,
you think what you're doing is so good when you come into the gym 2 or 3 days a week. You're in such a good like flow state with it, and you take it for granted. And then when you get
yeah.
knocked out of that routine because of holidays and stuff, it's fucking hard to get back into it.
So
Um,
hard.
and that's why I say to people that are training 2 or 3 days a week, like you're doing amazing.
Yeah.
Like I've had conversations with people this week who literally last year probably trained less than 30 times, which when
Mm,
you look at weekly attendance is about zero point 0.6 times a week. And then
it's crazy.
you're one of the members that come in like 2 or 3 times a week super consistently. Some days you're doing like double sessions as well, like going into breathing stuff after semi
Mm,
pro. It's amazing, you know.
yeah.
But then you do take it for granted, don't you?
Yeah, yeah, just life gets in the way. But I
Yeah.
think it is this year for me, it is to stop life getting in the way of something I enjoy doing.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. And I think, but when you are in that routine, don't be hard on yourself. Give yourself a pat on the
Yeah,
back. Like there's people on this
yeah,
call now that are so hard on themselves. And I know throughout 2025, they train 2 or 3 times a week all year, which
yeah,
is fucking awesome. Do you know what I mean? It's
yeah,
so good. Like it's such an achievement. But then the voice in their head then is someone that thinks, oh, I need to be doing better. I need to be doing better. You can always do better, guys. But the big thing that my mentor says to me is strive satisfied. And it's so important to like, yeah, it's good to want to be better. That's an amazing characteristic to have. But be satisfied as well of where you are and what you're doing, and be your biggest cheerleader. Be proud of what you're doing. And if you can be proud of where you are and what you're doing, but also striving for better, it's a nice place to be because it makes you feel good about yourself rather than making yourself feel pretty crap. But yeah, that's a great goal. But yeah, so we'll be seeing you next week, sir. Getting back to it.
absolutely.
Absolutely. So good. It's really good. So Karen said, peace around nutrition, not eating after my evening meal. Cool. That's really, really good. Yeah, I think a lot of people can get like over analytic with the nutrition. And sometimes nutrition is just so simple. Like if you're eating real food, like food your great grandmother would have eaten, making food from fresh, like high protein foods, you're not going to go far wrong, even if you are eating a bit more of it. It does tend to be a lot more nutrient rich and calorie scarce.
And
So
I found with that, Sam, it might just be going for a 20-minute walk on an evening with just taking the dog out. It's really helpful. It's
yeah.
like I get the biggest return just
Mm.
from doing that.
And isn't that like how these are the things, guys, like what Karen said then is amazing because like how easy is it to take the dog for a 20-minute walk? It's so easy to do. And this is the problem with success. It's so easy to do that it's also so easy not to do.
Mm.
But like when you do it, you just feel so much better. And I bet your dog loves it as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and you walk in, and there's loads of research as well on like walking after a meal, just in terms of like, assisting digestion and stuff like that. And it's going to give you a little bit of an endorphin buzz as well because you get a bit of movement. And a lot of people also chase that endorphin buzz from having a bit of chocolate with their evening meal.
Mm.
So having that little sweet treat. So yeah, like that could be a really good habit. Karen, what you can do is you could just get like a little journal, or what we could put on the SOS app for you, and every day you just tick it off, Monday to Friday, 20-minute walk, and don't aim for every day. Just success could be 3 times a week.
Mm.
We'll put it on there every day for you, but if you do it 3 times a week, that's maybe
Mm.
once or twice more than you're doing now.
Mm.
So yeah, really, really good. Sarah said be more consistent with protein and water intake. Great. So that's a good one. What I would say is with the word consistency is give yourself a little target. It could be like a lot of people say to me, eat more protein. I'm going to eat more protein. Okay, what does that mean? It could be a better way of saying it would be have a protein source with 2 of my meals per day. So it could be like have some eggs or have some chicken, or have 30 grams of protein with 2 meals a day. So that's something you can have a little look at, say. And it could be have a pint of water before every meal. Okay, so
Yeah,
there's
I
two
think
ways you can
yeah.
do it. Just quantify it.
Yeah, I think it's like when yeah, exactly. I think when like previous Sarah was saying about, life getting in the way and then just kind of like the motivation, like it kind of like I found last year was really good, me going to the gym, being more consistent, but then I had uni exams getting in the way and disrupting the flow of things. And, I kind of found myself sticking to things really well, where it was nutritional gym and then going off the wagon a bit, then going back on. It was like a bit of an endless cycle.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we need to do is like get these non-negotiables now. It's like you're going to be someone in 2026 that trains 3 times a week. So that might mean, on certain days, you might train at times you don't really want to train. But because of the person you want to become this time next year, that's what it's going to take. Like some days I have to train at 5 or 6 a.m. It's awful. I don't want to train that time, but it's the only time I can fit it in. And like
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Karen said, with the walk, you feel better once it's done, and you're doing hard things. You're building that mental resilience. And I think that's important as well because that's going to carry it, that resilience of doing things you don't want to do and showing up even when you don't want to do it. Zoe is great. She's lost like 12 or 15 kilos, I think, the last 3 or 4 months. And I know she has her coffee in the gym. I know when she has her coffee, like about 1 or 2 o'clock, she's going to go and train. And I'm like, she's like, oh, I don't want to do this. And she says it every time, but she still does it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's
Mhm.
because she's made that promise to herself, and even when she doesn't rely on motivation anymore. She relies on discipline, and that's why obviously she succeeded. And that's something we've all got to try and do. There'll be days you don't want to do it, but like Karen said, think about how good you're going to feel after it. And every time you do something you don't want to do, is a vote for the person you want to become.
Yeah, exactly.
Mel
Yeah.
just said, follow the plan, not the mood. Go on, Mel. Right. So Jesse said, I consistently lift 4 days a week and I'm always getting stronger. Great. And a good thing for you, Jesse, as well, is you've added in a bit of cardio now as well, the zone 2 work. I know that's something you probably wouldn't have done before. So adding that in it's been great. Ginge, be more consistent with my nutrition and stop using my job as a reason for eating crap. So yeah, another good one. So it could be, what's your go-to? My go-to when football was cancelled was to do a 5K run. What's your go-to going to be when you haven't prepped? It could be you go to Tesco's and rather than grab a meal deal, you go grab like 2 chicken breasts, a packet of rice, and some vegetables, or you grab. So think about it. Think about what you can do instead, and create that as a habit. And then Ray, I'm someone that lifts weights 4 days a week, runs 2 days a week, and stretches every day. Amazing. So that's the identity. So Ray knows if he hasn't trained on a Monday because work's been busy, right? He's only got 6 days left now to get his 4 workouts in. And it doesn't matter what days he does those on. So, guys, amazing. Thanks for sharing. So that's really, really useful. So, yeah, talking about that identity change. Okay. And this is a really good mindset shift that I had. and it helped me so much, and it's helped me as well with the team. Raise the floor, not the ceiling. Okay. Perfectionism, guys, isn't the goal. And I know we got people on this call with perfectionism tendencies. Okay. Bad days are going to happen. Like I said at the start of the call, do you really think every single day next year is going to be perfect? It's going to be good. Shit's going to hit the fan. All right. It always does. All right. So is how you react in those situations. Progress is about making those days better, not perfect. Okay. If you can't do a full session, yeah, go for a 20-minute walk around the block. Do 15 minutes. Gareth Chapman comes in and he's got to go to work. He just does the A and the B series. You know, that guy's probably had one of the best transformations at SOS. If I told you probably the last 2 or 3 months of the year, I don't think he's done one C series in the gym. Like he's just done the A's and the B's and he's gone. You think what? And he's still getting amazing results. Okay. Nutrition off track. Start the next meal with a solid choice. How many of you have a bad day and you're like, oh, or bad meal? I'll start tomorrow. Why? Like just make the next decision a good one. What's one way you can raise the floor on those toughest days? So think about that. Okay. What's one simple thing you can do just to give you an extra vote for that person you want to become? It hasn't got to be complicated. In 2026, your worst days will matter more than your best. Right now, we're all planning peak performances, crafting perfect schedules, dreaming up new records to break, but that's playing the wrong game. Here's how sustainable success actually works. Okay? Your brain is not designed for transformation, it's wired for survival. Like a river carving its path, it seeks the route of least resistance, conserving energy by creating shortcuts, automating decisions, and falling back on familiar patterns. That's not a flaw, it's a feature. Understanding this changes everything. Okay, so study the best performers and you'll notice something very surprising. Their success isn't built on extreme habits or ironclad willpower. They've mastered something more powerful, raising their floor. Okay, small improvements stacked daily, building lasting change. Okay, the man who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones. Okay, so these little habits are key. Your floor reveals itself when life intensifies. Okay. The meals you eat when you're tired, the habits you maintain when you're stressed, the decisions you make when you're overwhelmed. These default moves matter more than your highlight reel because lasting success is built in the valleys, not the peaks. Okay. So let's look at this. This is someone with a perfectionist mindset. Okay. Monday, 5K run or SGPT session at Velocity or SOS. Yeah. Track all their calories, 2 hour gym session or walk, whatever it is. Day 10 out of 10. Tuesday, track sprints, meal prep, yoga and gym. Again, 10 out of 10. Wednesday, they got deadlines in work. Maybe their boss is off. Missed their macros. They fit it in a quick workout. Thursday, late meeting. So they've ordered a takeaway. Friday, the weekend gets away from them. Yeah, social events, training, plan collapses. Over the course of the week, there's 2 perfect days, 36% score. Yeah. 25 out of 70 gives you 36%. High variance, declining trend. Now let's compare that to Mr. or Mrs. Consistent. Okay. Monday, core lifts, basic macro targets. Tuesday, maintain the lifts, 80% nutrition. So yeah. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 59%. So no perfect days. Every day there was a 5, a 6, or 7 out of 10. All right. Something went wrong every day. All right. Either nutrition was a little bit off. Maybe their training didn't go quite to plan. Maybe they didn't get their steps in. No day was perfect. Whereas the other person, 2 perfect days. And then shit hit the fan. And then they couldn't cope. So this is the person we want to try and become, guys. Okay. We want to aim for that middle ground. Of course, if we can aim for perfect days and have them, we'll take it. But by trying to do that all the time, you're setting yourself up to fail. So instead of chasing the perfect weeks, focus on raising your floor and maintaining basic habits when tested. Small actions, massive impact. It's better to be consistently good than occasionally great. Cool. So when you gradually raise your baseline, you're not fighting your brain, you're rewiring it. Neural pathways strengthen, your choices become default choices, growth becomes inevitable. So ask yourself, guys, what do you do on your worst days? Anyone willing to share what a bad day looks like? Some tendencies are probably not supporting you, or some habits are not supporting you. Anyone willing to share in the chat? It could be self-sabotage. It could be eating shit. It could be just thinking, oh, I'll hit like the snooze button It could be getting home from work, opening that bottle of wine. Yeah, if, you know, I know this might not be easy for some people to share, but yeah, so eat chocolate, Dominoes and cookies. Here we go. Uh, cancel my gym session. Yeah, cool. Eat chocolate, avoid training. Yeah. So great. Get back in bed. Sarah gets back in bed and it's already 9:30 or 10 o'clock in the morning and she's getting back into bed then.
Honestly, if you had my job, you would as well.
Cool. So guys, those of you that shared that, what's one small step up from there? What could you do? At the minute, we've all got that default state, okay? When shit's hitting the fan, we binge, we eat chocolate, we order the Dominoes, we go back to bed. Yeah. What would be an improvement that we could make that's going to serve you better in 2026? Because you're all reverting there back to your default state. Okay, is what makes you feel good for a short time period. All right. So this is what I love. Okay, using work pressure as a crutch not to train because I won't have enough time to do a perfect workout. So Ray, that's great. It could be a case now, mate, that if you haven't got time for a perfect workout, we can put a workout on the app for you, like a 30-minute time set where all you do for 30 minutes is literally squat 5 reps and do 3 to 5 chin-ups. And in 30 minutes, you get as much of that work in as you can. Very short, very intense, quite metabolic. It's going to give you that endorphin buzz, and still you're hitting your legs, you're hitting your back, hitting those big muscle groups. So we can still have workouts when time is a constraint. Yeah, cool. Get So that's a good one. Like, yeah, gluten-free cookies. That's great. If you do have a little binge normally, you know, it could be if you like eating chocolate, have some dark chocolate. It's a better version, and you're probably not going to eat quite as much of it. Yeah, put your trainers on, go for a run. That's great. If you missed your alarm for the gym, it could be you get your trainers on and you do a quick 5K run in your lunch hour maybe. I used to drink wine so much after a stressful day, but now I remind myself it won't help. It'll make me feel worse. So now I grab the dogs and stomp it out. Great. So that's a really positive change. Rather than grabbing the alcohol, you're taking the dogs out for a nice walk, getting your steps in, getting some fresh air, hopefully some sunlight, some vitamin D. Cool. Emma said, reach out to my coach. Yeah, sometimes having a little bit of a chat is a good thing. Yeah. But what do you think your coach would say? Remember what we said at the start? If you come up with a plan, it's going to be a more sustainable plan. So what's one small change you could make, Em? That's what a good coach would say. And then we're going to try and drive things up from there. But start there, okay? Start there and build upwards. So Karen, I'm going to ask you now. You said about eating chocolate, avoiding training. What's the Karen of 2026 going to do?
Go for a walk with the dog. Because if I'm going to eat chocolate
Yeah.
or binge or overeat, it'll be when I'm tired, when I'm exhausted,
Yeah.
on a night time after my evening meal.
Yeah.
So I think for that, I've got strategies wrote down and things that I'm confident I'll be able to put in place. Because I think the biggest return I'll get, I consume the most amount of calories on an evening.
Yeah. So going back to this now, when you say eating chocolate, obviously there's different.
Well, it can be anything, Sam. I'm just tired. I'll pick up the wrong or unhelpful stuff on an evening.
Yeah, great. So what we could do, like with that, is like chocolate's not good or bad, right? It depends how much of it you're having.
Yeah, it's the volume of the right.
Yeah, exactly. So like people laugh at me when I got down to sub 5% body fat, I was eating a Curly Wurly every night. But a Curly Wurly is 90 calories. And I used to love my Curly Wurly with a cup of tea. But Mel, I was shredded. Like you could see my pancreas secrete insulin. I was so lean. I was like, but I had chocolate every night. But that chocolate was, I think it's 80 calories a Curly Wurly. I factored into my calories. I knew that's what I was allowed. I pre-planned my day and I enjoyed that chocolate. And it wasn't a binge episode, but it was something that just gave me that little bit of a sweet craving and I enjoyed it. So it's finding a way that if you do want to have chocolate, you can, but we got to stop those episodes.
Dates. I've got some dates there. So if I'm really craving, like I'll have a couple of dates.
Yeah, great. So it's putting strategies in place to make sure you've got those dates
Yeah,
there. And when you are stressed, you maybe take the dogs for a walk before you make a decision. You do maybe when
yeah,
you're walking, you do some nasal breathing just to calm yourself down, just to chill out.
yeah.
Nature's so good for that anyway. And then you come back and you have your dates.
And the training, I love training, but it's just once I start to slide, I've been saying to myself,
Yeah,
if I've cancelled one, that's okay, because there's
yeah,
a reason for it.
yeah,
But two, I'm starting a new habit. So I've
yeah.
said to myself, a new rule I've got is I'm not going to miss two consecutive sessions unless
Exactly.
I'm
That's
on
amazing.
holiday or something like
Yeah,
that.
never miss twice. Like
Yeah.
that's a great saying. Like I miss Karen. We all miss, yeah? You're not
Mm,
perfect. We're all gonna miss, but missing
mm,
twice or three times, that's not a mistake then. That's becoming a bit more of a
mm.
choice then. So
And I've signed up for High Rocks to do it with,
with
as
Mel,
a
yeah.
relay.
You're doing
But
the
that,
burpee broad jumps in your car?
what's that? What's that?
You're on the burpee broad jumps in you?
No, I'm not.
No, you'll
But
enjoy it. It's good. Having a
yeah,
goal
but
like
I
that
won't
is
let the
good.
girls down. I might let myself down, but I won't let the girls down. So I think it'll be good.
Yeah, amazing. No, that's great. Yeah, different ways to keep you motivated is good, but it hasn't got to be extreme. It could
No,
just
I
be
get
a
it.
better choice and making a better choice to what you normally do. Whatever your default state is, can we improve that by 10 or 15%? And if we do
Yeah,
that, guys, you're literally moving forward.
I will.
So your surroundings will always beat your willpower. So going back to Karen about the chocolate in the house, if there's better choices in the fridge, she can go for those. If Jesse's got her gluten-free cookies there, that's better than having lots of not so healthy. Create systems where good choices become the path of least resistance. Keep healthy options visible. Remove temptations. Let your environment do the heavy lifting. All right. For those of you that are members of obviously our gym and I know Velocity, the community normally will keep you positive, and that's important. But a lot of people find it hard because their environment drags them down. All right, their friends all want to go out drinking and stuff like that, and it can be difficult. It can be a bit of an emotional burden. So yeah, be around people that are on the same journey as you. Like Karen said with the high rocks, sometimes you let yourself down, but you don't want to let other people down. Play that game in your head. If that's how your inner dialogue works, then
Yeah.
100% set yourself up to win. So with us, the next thing then is a self-awareness system. This is where most people go wrong with goals. Okay. And I'm going to teach you something that I do. Okay. So without self-awareness, there's no behavior change. You need to reflect regularly. All right. I'm telling you now, some of you are going to set goals today, and by 2 or 3 weeks' time, you're going to forget about them. All right. They're going to be written on some back of a fag packet somewhere, and you're going to find it in 3 or 4 years' time and be like, oh, fucking hell, I forgot I've written that. So we need to reflect regularly. What worked? What didn't work? How can I improve? Find tips to stay motivated, like Karen just shared. We need to find ways to track your progress. With Jessie with her squat, here's her predicted 1 rep max going up. We can get that data from the numbers she's lifting in training. We need to get the numbers and the performance metrics, the quantifiable data. Then we can celebrate the small weekly wins. Is Jess's squat going up 1 kilo a week as we needed to for it to get to a goal? We can share this goal with peers. So all the coaches know now this is an important goal for Jessie. So when she's doing that exercise, we can give her a bit more time and attention to make sure she is achieving it. So I do something, guys, called Sunday Sanity. Okay. And I wake up on a Sunday, I pour myself a cup of coffee, I open my diary, I look back on the last 7 days, and I see how I've done. And I mark myself. How many 6 week challenges have I managed to do in the gym? Have I hit my target? How many workouts did I get in? Did I get my runs in? How's my ordering data looking? Is my HRV trending up? Is it trending down? What's happening to my resting heart rate? I've got KPIs now for lots of aspects of my life. All right. And I just track it every week. And it allows me then to stay on track and just to see whether or not I'm moving forward or I'm starting to drift. Okay. Because sometimes you can start drifting and it's too you've already drifted. Yeah. All right. So you need to have these little reflection pieces in your week to review. And I call it Sunday Sanity. It'll take me about 45 minutes with my laptop, with my notepad, and I reflect on my goals and if or not I'm moving forward. And if I've had a bad week, great. I can draw a line in the sand and get back on track next week. But 1 week isn't going to make much of a difference. If I leave it a month or 2 months, then it might mean I'm not going to achieve my goal. So I definitely recommend Sunday Sanity. I definitely recommend some self-reflection somewhere in your week. And it's a great way just to keep you aligned with those goals. Who's set a goal before, guys, and actually forgot about it? Yeah? How many of you? Anyone? If you want to drop in the chat, yeah. I bet there's a few of you on here. I've done it many times. Set goals and just forgot about it. So this is a great way of just keeping you focused. So takeaways, guys, okay? Just takeaways because we're almost done. Step by step. Set one main goal for January, February, or March. Okay, the first quarter of the year, let's set one main goal. Okay, break this goal into 3 to 5 objective tasks. Okay, and identify obstacles and options, and write down your way forward or your next action. Okay, what's the one thing you're going to do next week to move you towards that goal that you're going to achieve in March? For me, my first goal of the year is at the end of April. Me and Mark have our next High Rocks, and we wanna. Mel always goes High Rocks buddies, so we have our next High Rocks, which is great. We're gonna try and set a PB. 2 weeks later, me and Mel, Mark, and his partner Dan, we're gonna fly to Barcelona. I'm gonna take part in my first High Rock singles. I've not done a High Rock singles before, so I'm not setting a goal. My goal is to go and enjoy it, all right, and just see what I can do. I'll then collect that data, and then I can set a goal with a bit more of an informed decision because I'll have that data. All right, so I'm not going to set a goal of a sub 1 hour 10. I've never done it before. Okay, that would be naive of me. Experience tells me that's not the way you set goals. Okay, you need to explore first, be curious, have a crack at it, see where you are. When you've got the experience then of having a go, then we can make more detailed goals. But they're my first goals. Along the year, then I'm going to do some runs. I got a few 10Ks plotted. I'm going to do the Cardiff half again. I'm going to do the Newport half, and again, they're going to be just goals I set to keep me on track with the High Rocks goal. But I did the Cardiff half last year, 142. I want to go 139 or less this year. So that's one of the events I've set a goal for, as well. So there's some examples that I'm doing just from a performance perspective. So yeah, definitely do that yourself as well. And then look, guys, we're here to support you. Okay. You've all got coaches in the gym, we've all got our designated lifestyle coaches, but the whole coaching team are there to help you. So reach out to us. Go through this training again. If you've enjoyed it, you can come on Tuesday. We're doing it at 6:30 in the gym as well. If you want to go through this again in person with us, you can. But you've got the support. You've got the weekly scans on the InBody. If your goal is body composition, you can book one-to-one accountability calls with your coaches. You can reach out on the app if you ever want a conversation or chat. You've got the access to the SOS community. The WhatsApp channel is buzzing at the moment with the recipes and things like that, which is good. And if you need help refining your goals or building a plan, I'd recommend going through this process again. Okay, because remember, you're going to get more from your goals if you actually set them yourself and you go through this process yourself. Okay, but the support network is there for you. And remember, guys, excellence starts here and it starts today. Let's make 2026 your best year yet. Okay. There we go, guys. So has anyone got any questions based on that? If you want to unmute, guys, we'll run through any questions you've got now.
Thanks, Sam. That was awesome.
And look at that, 7:30, guys. That was bang on 60 minutes. I'm fucking good. I'm happy with that. Yeah, any questions or any takeaways? Any what's one thing maybe you learned? Just drop it in the chat. I think it's good to share one thing that maybe you learned that you're going to take away.
Sam, what was that? What was the goal book that you've got?
This way is called not Gold Digger, Gold Digger.
Gold Digger.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty deep.
Yeah.
But it's really good. Yeah, big fan. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work though, but it's a bit like journaling.
Yeah.
And I really struggle with journaling because I need the prompts.
Yeah.
It gives you the prompts. It asks you questions. And I love this. This was the first thing when I opened it. It's like your future depends on what you do today.
Oh, I love that.
So it's got little things, and every page has got a little saying just to motivate you and just keep you aligned.
Yeah.
If you want something you've never had, you have to be willing to do something you've never done. It's all little things like that.
Yeah, nice.
The one thing they made you do at the start is write down 50 goals for the year. 50, 50.
Awesome.
So I've got 38. And some of them are like quite fun. They're like run a
Where'd
sub
you get it? Like off Amazon?
online, yeah.
There
Yeah.
we go.
Yeah, it's so good. But like one of them is like a goal brain dump, but it's like 50 goals. So
Yeah.
I'm 38 now, but like some of them are like pretty cool as well. Like, I don't know, we want to take Ada to like Disneyland. Like I want to run like a winter games at SOS, get all the members t-shirts, sub 40-minute 10K, sub 19-minute 5K. We want to take Ada to see like Peppa Pig. Just like I'm considering doing my football A license. So some of the goals are like whether or not I do them or not, but it's just like writing them down. And it says that to pick 8 and just make sure you do those 8. So it is a really good book. Yeah, Goal Digger. I definitely recommend it.
Right, thank you.
So take my frustration out on a run. Just train as hard as possible, whatever time is available. Yeah, mate, Ray, we can definitely get you sorted, mate, with a program. So let's going to start at the bottom here. Like the consistency, good, not sometimes great. Yeah, thanks, Emma. Culture and environment trumps willpower and determination. Yep, perfect. Progress, not perfection. I think that's a big one. And then short term, next week, lift 4 days and run 2 days, establish base number 2026. Medium term, set 12-month lifting and running goals. Long term, track progress weekly. Yeah, I think the Sunday sanity, guys, that's a big thing. If you can like get in the habit of like reviewing your week, that's like so important. Data just takes the emotion out of it as well. Brush your teeth earlier. You won't want to eat anything after that. Is a little tip, Kat, off Sarah. Yeah, brushing your teeth does work when you got like a craving. Like brushing your teeth definitely works.
Yeah.
100%. Don't knock until you've tried it. Yeah. So there we go, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for everyone that's tuned in. We have recorded it. And like I said, we are going to be doing an in-person one on Tuesday. So if you do want to come, just book on the app and we can go through. But definitely, guys, share this with your coaches. Okay, brilliant, Sam. Thanks, mate. Learned a lot. Cool. Not overreaching. Not needing to be perfect all the time. Yeah, I think the perfection one is big. Lose 6 kilograms, compete in high rocks. Great goal, Kat. So that's literally, Kat, if you want to achieve that by the end of the year, is like 0.5 kilos a month. You need to lose 125 grams a week. Do you know what I mean? It's when you think of it like that and you break it down, it's good. Go and use Mel's mantra. My mood takes over too often. Diolch yn fawr. Okay, guys, awesome work. Really appreciate you all, and we'll see you all in the gym soon, okay?
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.